Well, hi there folks, Simon here, Arias Pipe Smoker, and welcome to episode 9 of how to process whole leaf tobacco. This video I think we're just going to try and put the Virginias together, or find a ratio that works with the various Virginias. I was really hoping to bring this video to you from a really nice picnic bench up the mountain by a lake, and so I went up there in my van. Kind of forgot to bring the regulator for the gas bottle, so the cooker wasn't operational in the van, which was fine on, when was that, Tuesday evening. So I lit a little fire, cooked some sausages by the lake, beautiful evening. All good intentions of doing this video, like I say, on this lovely picnic bench next to the lake. About 5 o'clock the next morning, the cows woke me up because they just graze wild up there and they have big bells around their necks. And so the bells of the cows woke me up at 5 in the morning. Couldn't make a cup of coffee, and it was thick fog and hammering it down with rain. So it was a bit of a non-starter, so I just come home. And so yeah, it's a bit gloomy outside, so I thought hopefully the lighting's in here it is good enough. I've got all the Virginias in little bags. Rudimentary tasting notes, pen and paper. I'm going to be smoking my Unimersum for this because it takes, I've got a 9mm white elephant meerschaum filter in there, because this tobacco is quite, it's just about smokable, but it's a lot moister than we would normally smoke it at. You know, the actual moisture content is a bit too high, so I want to mitigate any tongue bite. And also having a bigger bowl means I don't have to cut this tobacco up quite as finely. Excuse me. So I've taken some rudimentary tasting notes of the individual Virginias, just to spare the, spare me doing a video tasting all the Virginias again, because we've kind of already done that. And so my line of thinking at the moment is to kind of put two Virginias together that are at the opposite ends of the spectrum. So what I'm cutting up here is, I should mention actually, I am not weighing this tobacco out at the moment. I'm just going by visual volume. Like I say, it's just very rudimentary, just seeing how the tobaccos behave with each other, if there's cancelling out flavours, if, who knows what's going to happen. So I'm just going to do rough by eye volumes. If we come across something that's enjoyable and good, I'll have all the ratios written down, and then I can go and weigh up, I don't know, 10 grams or something accurately and see where we are. So what I'm cutting up here, I have an equal amount of the German Virginia, and on my sort of tasting notes, if you can call them that, the German one was like, I would say it's got the creamiest taste, kind of bready, but I don't know, just cream is the word that I'm holding this knife a bit aggressively. Cream is the word that kept coming into my mind of this one. It's quite, it's reasonably full-bodied, got kind of quite a rich taste, and this kind of deepens as the bowl progresses, as one would expect. And so rather than mix that with something that has similar qualities, like the Italian was reasonably similar, I've decided to mix it with a tobacco from the other end of the spectrum, of which there were two choices actually. One would be with what I've got here is the orange Virginia, which has got this really deep, it is an orange taste, but not orange in the sense of a fresh squeezed juice of orange juice. It's very much that sort of cooked orange peel, deeper aspect of the orange flavour. it doesn't have so much body. It's not quite as sweet, and it's almost at the opposite end of the spectrum of the German Virginia. So I've just put equal amounts here. If I just you can see they're very, very coarsely cut in the bags, the Virginias. I didn't cut them very fine because now by cutting them fine together, it's actually mixing the two tobaccos together a lot better. So I'm going to go and go ahead and prepare this and load up a pipe, and we will cut back in a couple of minutes. The orange taste is there, but we've kind of lost the creamy taste of the German Virginia at that ratio. And on my bit of paper here, I've just written 1G plus 10, which translates as 1 part German to 1 part orange, just so I can keep a shorthand record. Oh, hold on, my phone's ringing. Let's turn the volume down so that doesn't happen again. I like the level of orange, but I'd like a bit of the creaminess back, so I'm not sure. It's not bad though. Now, I guess there's two ways of doing this. I guess the simplest thing to do, I've got the German Virginia here. Now, because this is equal amounts German and orange, I'm going to try adding roughly about half the gain of the German. So under here I'm going to put plus half German and just see if we can bring that the level of creaminess back up. Yeah, that's a bit more balanced actually. I mean, the orange is lovely actually, but I'm just trying to stay slightly focused. I think possibly it will be a blend in its own right, will be this orange Virginia, where we'll just try and keep that oranginess there as the top note. But this time round, I'm just trying to make a generic Virginia mix. That's working a bit better. You've still got the oranginess there as more of an undertone. I mean, obviously the difficult thing with this is that how this tastes now will not be how it tastes even in a few days' time when it's put together as a blend and it can sort of mature a little bit and you know the flavours mingle in a bag. But I guess this is where like years and years of experience as a blender is invaluable, because you'll have the experience of how tobaccos taste with age. Now flavour wise, that's not too bad, and it's not overly complicated, which is neither a good or a bad thing. I think I'm going to add to this, I mean, on my tasting notes I've written the Virginia Gold is reasonably neutral. As you know, slight cream, slight caramel, slight citrus, and I kind of had the impression that it would be possibly a good almost like a bulking agent to just have a reasonably neutral background with which, you know, to bulk a blend out and give it a bit more body. There's quite a lot of body to it, but not so overwhelming flavour wise. Where did I put the Gold Virginia? Italian, it's always the last one, isn't it? Gold. So I'm going to add approximately half of the, well, I guess it's the running mixture, which is equal parts German and orange, plus another half part, or half of that amount of the German. Let's see. Where's my plus half Gold. So I added the portion of Gold in, and it made it a bit characterless actually. So I added another portion of orange, and that's not bad. And so what I'll do is, I mean, yeah, my shorthand kind of works for me. I can go back through here now and kind of, it's not reverse engineering, I guess it is in a way, but I have my ratios written down. So I'll probably go and weigh up like 5 or 10 grams of this, and I'll put it into a bag, and I'll compress the bag a bit, get the air out, and I'll leave it for a couple of days, and I'll come back to it in a couple of days and see, with a fresh palette, different pipe, and see what I think. I mean, the danger is just to start adding more, and I think then it gets, you can end up, I think less can be more in some ways. So I don't know how long we're going on for, so I guess we could just try another quick one. So this is the stoved Virginia, which I haven't cased. And one thing I've noticed with it actually is that it dries out a lot quicker than the stuff that is cased. I mean, it's quite moist at the moment because it's in a sealed bag obviously, but as soon as it's out in the air or any warmth, it dries very, very fast. So what have I written here? A bit fruit cakey, a bit tangy, sort of some hay and straw. So I think I'm going to try mixing it with the Italian Virginia by equal amounts. Yeah, they work together quite nicely actually. One thing I'm finding in this process is that there is a kind of a slight sort of lack of depth of character, but we have to remember that this is like fresh leaves fundamentally in a fresh blend. I kind of think the complexity of flavour and, dare I say, depth of flavour comes with time somewhat, which is why I think it's good to do some very quick cursory blends such as we're doing here and revisit them in a couple of days to see if they've changed. And of course, this is the equal part Italian and the stoved bright Virginia. And I actually still have a pinch of the first mix here. And so let's try putting the two together. Why not? It's already there, cut up, and we'll see what happens. They actually work together quite nicely. The two blends combined into one. You can kind of pick out the qualities of all the different leaves in there, but they're actually seem to be quite complementary. So I think I'm going to go ahead, possibly, and make up 10 grams of this current mixture, and revisit it in a couple of days. Also, over obviously you can't do this all day long because your taste buds just become numb. I'm tending to do it earlier on in the day while the palate's still fresh. And I'll probably do a bit more in the afternoon, you know, and see what else I can come up with. Mix up like I say, you know, probably 10 grams of each kind of pseudo blend, and revisit them in a couple of days. Like I say, what I tend to do is I'll put them into one of these Ziploc bags, roll them really tight, and then use this piece of wood to push the air out, and then seal it and put it somewhere quite warm. I do have a secret weapon for this, but you'll have to wait for future videos to see the new secret weapon that's in its what's the word, calibration and proving state of the research and development. Yeah, but that's reasonably pleasant. I deliberately haven't smoked anything commercial today, just so I'm not comparing it to anything that's obviously aged and you know, just so my palate isn't going to be disappointed or confused, or you know. So I guess no, fundamentally, that's kind of my process in a way. Is just, I mean, and obviously with each smoking, you kind of get your taste buds in as to what's working, and hopefully it'll become a bit more instinctive. That it just needs a pinch more of that, and I'll know what the pinch should be. And of course, the other test of making up 5 or 10 grams is when I then revisit it in a day or two's time. I will let it air for a bit and actually get it down to a moisture content that is comparable to, you know, how we. I mean, this is a lot moister than you'd get in a commercial tin. Still, so obviously the flavours are going to change a little bit when it's dried and when it's had time to meld together. So yeah, I'm going to press on with these, see where it leads me. Obviously I've got slight records, so I can recreate it. Like I said, probably going to try and get to like 2 different kinds of Virginia blend. Not necessarily to do a big pressing or a big run of the different kinds, but of course we're going to need like some generic base Virginias when we start adding things like Burleys and the Orientals or the Dark Fireds. So I think if we can sort of have 2, 3, possibly 4 different generic Virginia blends that all have certain qualities, so maybe a sweeter, creamier one, a more tart, tangy one that doesn't have much sort of depth of flavour, but it's just a good accompaniment that may work, and so that may well work better with Orientals, for example. So yeah, it might just make life easier doing the groundwork now, getting a few base Virginia blends, so we don't have to repeat this process necessarily when we start getting onto the Kentuckys or the Orientals, etc., etc. We'll have some base blends to work with. Obviously, by then my taste buds will be a bit more attuned than they are at the moment. Because it's all about experience, I guess. So it may well be that, that works really well with Dark Fired, but I just want to lower the creaminess a little bit. So I know, I've already done the groundwork on the Virginia blends. That's the recipe for the Virginia blend. Okay, I'll just put half the amount in of the German, for example, to lower the creaminess. So I think, at this early stage, there's quite a lot of legwork to do. And I think it'll speed up when we start introducing other leaf varieties. So guys, it's probably been quite a long video already. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I've been approaching the blending process. The first stage really is just getting familiar with the different tobaccos, how they behave with each other. Maybe in a few days' time, when I kind of revisit anything that I kind of formulate today, I'll go, oh right, yeah. And rather than doing this methodical, add a bit, take a bit out, add a bit, take a bit out, when my taste buds are in, maybe I'll be able to wake up and go, okay, I want to achieve this. I'll have an idea in my mind what is possible to make with these different Virginia varieties, and try to create something I have in my mind rather than just piecemealing it together to get familiarity. I think the tobacco that would work well for this is the Orange Virginia. I think that's something that can be kind of crafted into something. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my thoughts on it. That's kind of the process that I go through. I'm going to have a rest now and a cup of tea, and plod on. Like I say, I'll probably do another couple of sittings like this today, and at the end of the day, kind of decide which ones I think are going to be the strongest ones. Like I say, mix up 10 grams, squash it all together in a bag, put it somewhere warm, and visit it tomorrow or the day after, and bring the humidity down on it so it'll be like smoking a proper tobacco at the right moisture levels, etc. And yeah, we take it from there. And hopefully, possibly, be able to find some nicer locations if the sun deems to come out. Right, okay then, guys. Thanks for your time. I hope this has been of some use, and the adventure's sort of beginning on this front now. I mean, the mind's exploding with the possibilities, and I guess one thing that to take away from it is don't just throw everything in together. I mean, there is an element of that sometimes. You know, I'll end up with all these loose bits on the tray. But I tend to just decant these into another. I've got one of these bags over there that's got all the you know, the leftover bits. That's just going to be a bit of a random bag. Who knows what's going to happen with that? It'd be funny if that turns out to be the perfect blend. But we shall see. We shall see. All right then, guys. I'm going to sign off. Have a cup of tea. Maybe have some breakfast. And see you in a couple of days, probably. Who knows? I'm not sure. Depends. If I come across something amazing today doing this, I'll be sure to share it with you. So thanks for your time, and see you soon. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.